Today, we're going to put the art in earth with some earth-friendly art. We have a few essential questions. What is upcycling? Why upcycle? And finally, how does it make an impact? Okay, so let's get started. First, we're going to review some vocabulary. We keep mentioning upcycling, but what does that even mean? Well, upcycling is the act of turning old items that are no longer of use into something new. Contrary to recycling, which breaks down products into materials used for making new goods, upcycling turns an old product into a new product. Here's a perfect example. Recycling a plastic bag would melt it down into plastic particles that can be made into something new, like a toothbrush. On the other hand, an example of upcycling a plastic bag might be to use it to make Plarn. What is Plarn, you might ask? Plarn is plastic yarn. I first learned about Plarn when doing a service project with Bags to Beds. This organization was founded by Caitlin McLean, who turns plastic shopping bags into yarn, which she then crochets into mats. She also teaches these skills to others so that they can collectively make many mats to donate to homeless shelters. Here are some of the things that they've accomplished so far. I admire Caitlin because she saw a need in her community, then used an artistic skill to solve it in a way that also put use to materials that are typically wasted. How cool is that? While I'd love to make mats with you today, they take about 30 hours each, so instead we'll start small with Plarn bracelets. We will be braiding these together. If you aren't familiar with braids, we'll do a quick overview. To braid is to interlace multiple pieces to make a pattern. I used the primary colors to make it easier to follow along. First, separate them. Next, move the red over the yellow so that it's now in the middle. Then move the blue over the red so that it's now in the middle. Continue with this process, moving the outside strand over the center one repeatedly until you finish. Now, we can start the activity. First, you need to gather all the supplies. You'll need a plastic bag of any color, scissors, tape, and beads if you have them. We'll start by cutting the bag up. First, we will cut along the bottom to open it up, then remove the handles, and finally cut it into strips. Please be safe while working with the scissors. Each bracelet only requires 3 strips, so you can set the rest aside for now. Once you have your 3, you can twist each one to make it more compact. If you have beads, you can add them to the individual strings as I did in the bottom left video. Once you're done twisting them, you can braid them together. I started by knotting the ends and taping it to the table to make it easier. Then we can begin braiding them. If you need a refresher, just rewind to watch the braid tutorial again. Once you finish, you can knot these ends together too. Finally, just tape both ends together to form a bracelet. If you have fun washi tape or duct tape on hand, you could use one of these instead. And that's it, we're done. Here are my finished bracelets. Now we can wrap it all up. Feel free to pause the video to reflect after I ask you some questions. What did you learn from this activity? What else could you make out of Plarn? How is this eco-friendly?